back to the NFL, and I mentioned levels.
Okay.
There are levels to coaching.
Right.
And I know not all coaches are created equally, right? It's why when you look at Bill Belichick say, and you go, man, I can't believe we're kind of discounting the hoodie this year and his team. We're going to put these coaches for the beginning of this discussion in tier one. Some might even argue if they should be tier one coaches.
Okay.
Because when you look at what we're trying to do is look at numbers associated with Coach of the Year in these tiers and see which one might actually have value there. Dan Campbell is now a tier one coach.
How about that?
From
a betting standpoint.
From a betting standpoint. He's 8-1 to get Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Look at that. Like all of a sudden, Dan Campbell biting kneecaps. We're going, man, this guy's on the short list to win Coach of the Year. Now, you do have to look at kind of how you handicap a team, because I do think team success is going to go to that individual award success. So you got to kind of marry those two, i.e. DeMeco Ryans is 14-1. Well, nobody knows what DeMeco Ryans is going to be, Pritch. So we're not saying he's a tier one coach, but in this graph he is, because the expectation level is so low.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about the narrative too, because these are voters that we're dealing with here. I think there's correlative betting as well, like because you think the Packers are better than the Bears, right? But here's Eberflus with a better odds situation for Coach of the Year. So no, it gets interesting that way. I think there's value on tier one, because I don't know if Robert Saleh has gotten the clout or the credit yet for changing the culture in New York. Now, I know they get Aaron Rodgers. That to me is icing on the cake. The cake, what he's already baked, was changing the culture with all those players. I mean, this is a team that overachieved last year, and they didn't have a quarterback. They've drafted very, very well, too. So I think there's some value in 18-1 with Robert Saleh. Pete Carroll, been there, done that, championship type of coach. He's at 18-1 too. Now the narrative, right? Who gets a better narrative, Pete Carroll or Robert Saleh? When Pete Carroll has Geno Smith and Robert Saleh has Aaron Rodgers.
I think Pete Carroll should have been. I was kind of banging the drum for him last year to get Coach of the Year, because I thought he did a remarkable job.
Surprise team
with a team that had super low expectations coming in after trading Russell Wilson to Denver. Carroll at 18-1, and again, you can look at kind of manipulate the markets. You know, Seattle, you're going to get about 4-1 right now to win the West. I think Carroll at 18-1 is not a bad play there if they can win the West. They have to win the West in order for him.
It's got to be one team, though.
Right.
Because Arizona, the Rams taken.
No. So 18-1 might not be a bad value play.
They got to beat San Francisco.
Right.
With Brock Purdy coming back from surgery.
Right. So I think that's not a bad play. To me, that's the one I would identify as a value at 18-1, because you're right. Saleh's now going to think, well, we got Aaron Rodgers. You're supposed to win that.
Well, then, the division. So you got Buffalo and Josh Allen, and then you got the hoodie and, New England. So maybe there's a stronger narrative for Roberts. Either way, both of those guys are 18-1, though.
Yeah, not bad price points there. Yeah. Tier 2. We just talked about Boy Genius 2.0 a little bit in Brandon Staley. They're 20-1 for Brandon to win. He's 20-1 to win the Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson, same number with the Jags. We saw what he did last year there. Out of this group, is there a coach that you think, because again, I think you almost have to win the division minimum to be in the conversation. Is there a coach that you say that number sticks out and maybe a good price point?
Well, along with the narrative too, I mean, Shane Steichen did the carry on, first time head coaches, you got the quarterback, you got the perfect fit. And then, Arthur Smith. I mean, there's a lot of people interested in Atlanta right now and what's going on with what they're doing. Now, the quarterback remains a big question mark.
Desmond Ridder. Is that the guy?
Brian Daboll. I mean, I don't know if there's strong enough narrative. Harbaugh, 25-1. What's that telling you about the Ravens a little bit here?
That surprises me, because
from a Coach of the Year standpoint, right?
Right, because Vrabel's also 25 to year. I'm not betting Vrabel as much respect as I have for him. Like, I feel like the Ravens are a team that really could, if you can keep Lamar healthy, which is a big if now.
Yeah.
You can't win Coach of the Year if you're 8-3 like they were 2 years ago. Your quarterback goes out and you can't win another game. You missed. You can't hold on to what you had. Like, it almost to me is predicated on that team success. So Harb's at 25-1. Yeah, the Bengals are still the team to beat. By the way, Zach Taylor's 20-1.
Right.
But I like your Shane Steichen, because at 22-1, if the Colts were able to win that division year one with a rookie quarterback, they're going to go, man, Steichen is the reason Jalen Hurts did what he did in Philly.
Right.
Steichen's the reason why the Colts are having success. I think that's a better number out of that group right there.
So do I. I mean, Zach Taylor would have to go undefeated, I think, win 20-1 Coach of the Year with that roster. With that roster, now, right? Yeah, expectations. So let's
go tier 3. In this group, you'll find the quarterback of the Packers that you were alluding to earlier, and that is Matt LaFleur at 30-1. Like, I'm with you. I don't know if Matt LaFleur is a good coach. I know Bill Belichick is at 30-1. I'm pretty sure Mike McCarthy's still a decent coach, even though he'll never get the credit. If the Cowboys win, it's going to be Dan Quinn. It's going to be Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones. It's not going to be Mike McCarthy because people just don't look at him that way. LaFleur could be that wild card. That now he's got Jordan Love, and now how good a coach are you? If the Packers were to win that division and they're 4-1, then maybe LaFleur's in play at 30-1.
There goes your Packers love right there, right? I mean,
I don't know that they're going to win the division.
I don't think they're going to win the division.
But at 30-1 for LaFleur, I'd almost rather play that than the Packers to win the division.
Mike McCarthy's down there at 30-1 though.
No respect.
But there's expectations too built
in. They don't respect McCarthy.
Okay, that's
in the betting market.
That too, yeah.
Right. What about Tomlin at 30-1? Because he's never had a losing. You ever heard that?
Never had a losing season.
He just doesn't lose. Yeah. He doesn't have a losing season. If they were to win the North
with a second-year quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah, very young team.
Again, because we're expecting the Bengals and the Ravens to be the cream of the crop.
Absolutely. Sean McVay goes along with my tanking theme.
There's no way I'm playing McVay at 31. No. There's no way.
Gosh, Sean McDermott's 31 too.
But see, again, the expectation's too high.
Right.
We're trying to find low expectation teams, and I think they've never been lower for Green Bay. To me, it's kind of a playable number at 30-1 for Matt
out of this tier, Mike Tomlin for sure. Out of this tier,
Reed's never going to get it.
No. Who's the other one that you mentioned?
Well, I look at LaFleur at 30-1 and Tomlin at 30-1.
I can get on board with Tomlin. I don't know about LaFleur though. I think
he's up there?
I think he's up against it.
And look, Kyle Shanahan's 30-1 in this last year as well. Expectations are just too high.
And McDaniels needs to win the division too, right? To be coach of the year.
Long road to go.
Yeah.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.